Welcome to hour number 2 on a Friday on Hashtag Daily K with your host, Peter Bint. How much do you know about K-food? How much hanshik have you eaten?
Into the world of Korean food, of course, including the history and culture of it. We'll introduce trendy foods and unique restaurants on Dish of the Day.
Yeah, with Chef Ryan in Hawaii.
Hey,
Wow.
Peter, how are you?
This is amazing. We're just lining up the images at the moment. We can see half of your face because we've got the wrong size on the Zoom call, but we can hear you loud and clear. You're over in Hawaii, Ryan.
Yes, Peter, how are you, man?
Oh, it looks amazing. Wow, you're out on a terrace there?
Yeah, we're at our beach rental here. See, maybe you can see the ocean behind me if I do this correctly.
Yes, that looks fantastic. Look at the sky. I must say, I'm very jealous.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Is the weather lovely? Not too hot?
You know, it's amazing. It'll rain for like 5 minutes and then stop and be beautiful and sunny again, and that's just Hawaii life, I suppose.
What is it around your neck?
Oh, that's part of our discussion today.
Oh,
That's part of our discussion. These are kukui beads, and can you see those mountains back there, my brother?
those do look like they dwarf the mountains here in Seoul.
Oh, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Yeah. So these are kukui beads, and they're a traditional necklace here. And it's also, there's a nut inside that is part of a recipe that I want to tell folks about here today.
Wait, so you've got something edible around your neck there?
Well, I don't know if these are very edible. This is ornamental now, but I can crack one. You want me to crack one open for you?
I don't want you to ruin your necklace, though. It does look rather stylish. Wow.
Well, I've got some that are already cracked, and I'll show them to you guys a little bit later in the segment today, and share a recipe with you that's actually very, very similar to Korean food.
All right, we've got so much input from our listeners, Ryan. So let me read a few messages, a few questions as well. Marilyn Wells from New Zealand is saying, "Is that Waikiki, Chef Ryan? And are you on the main island?"
We are on Oahu, the same island as Honolulu.
Yeah.
But we are away from all the tourists. Most of the tourists stay around Waikiki.
Yeah.
We found a rental here for about 10 days, and it's just me and my parents, and we are on the northeast side of the island.
Wow.
Just kind of away from. It's so quiet, so peaceful. And if we want to go do touristy stuff, it's only about a 45-minute drive.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's my next holiday destination if I get to go abroad later this year or maybe early next year. I'm going to get many tips off of you when you return. You wanted to get some of the fam out there as well, apart from your parents. Why didn't you ask me? I could have filled in. I could have pretended to be like your brother or sister or anything.
You guys could have fit in the extra bedroom here. We've got a whole bedroom we're not even using that has two doubles and a twin in it.
Oh my goodness! You should rent it out.
I know. We thought maybe my sister and brother-in-law and niece were going to make it, and unfortunately they couldn't make it. But so we just got extra space.
Fantastic.
Here, check out my kitchen window.
Oh, look at that. The mountains, the clouds, the trees, everything looks so exotic and fancy. We've also got a question from many of our listeners, and I wonder if you know the answer. Aaron brought it up first, saying, I have to ask Ryan if Hawaiian punch is a real Hawaiian thing. Do you know what Hawaiian punch is?
Yes, I grew up with Hawaiian punch, but I don't know that it has anything to do with Hawaii.
Just a marketing thing.
I think it's pretty much flavored sugar water.
Okay.
But let me check. I'll try to figure that out.
You've not been like downing it by the bucket load in Hawaii. It's not there instead of water or anything.
No. We did go try the local beverage, the Mai Tai last night. We went up to the North Shore and watched the sunset. And and I've had some local craft brews around here, but no Hawaiian punch yet. Sorry about that.
Oh, they do have that very popular in Korea as well, that Hawaiian brand of beer, which has like the surfboard on it and stuff like that. Have you found that out there?
Yeah, but I think that's actually made in California, Peter.
Oh.
But I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, that's disappointing. Silver Granny Lynn says from North Carolina, I think, and I wonder if you know, Ryan, if there's a sizable Korean population in Hawaii.
I am so glad you brought that up because I heard Korean this morning when we were at a farm nearby.
Wow.
I believe they were tourists, but every supermarket I've been to, even food trucks have galbi or bulgogi or bibimbap on the menus. They're right down the street, and I told you, we're away from everything. We're out in the countryside of Oahu, and just down the street is a Korean barbecue restaurant.
Seriously.
Out at the supermarket earlier, grabbing some things for this recipe I want to make with you guys later. There were like not just one, not two, but about 15 different kinds of kimchi that weren't just jarred and sent over. Somebody's making them there for sale because they were just in like little plastic containers made fresh.
That's unbelievable.
So talk about an influence, lots of Korean, much more than I anticipated in seeing.
That's brilliant. Yeah, because Hawaii does have a bit of a mishmash of different cultures like Japanese and whatnot, as well as maybe some more native Polynesian bloodlines, I believe, which is quite cool. I'm so looking forward to one day going there. Aaron's saying, I bet there is a huge Korean culture in Hawaii. Yeah, there's one of my closest friends, Kyopo, so to speak, like an American Korean who grew up in Hawaii and has recently taken her kids back there. And every time I see her kids after school going to the beach, I'm like, you made the right decision there, lady.
It really is. It is a magical place, the way the sun just shines after a little rain and then back to sun. It's just beautiful.
I didn't ask you, and our listeners are demanding that I do. What is the time in Hawaii? Are we not disturbing you too early or too late?
It's 3:17 in the afternoon. So after the show we'll probably go exploring a little bit.
Fantastic. So it's 5 hours ahead, it seems, over in Hawaii. We've got Ryan there. Anything you want to ask him Hawaii related? We might have some comparisons to Korean styles of certain things throughout today's show, but it's Ryan, specially all the way from Hawaii today. We're so lucky to have him. We'll just preview this and then get into the mix in part 2, Ryan. What do you want to talk about mainly today while you're out there, apart from lying on your hammock and showing off?
I fell asleep on that hammock yesterday.
Amazing.
Mulhue and hue dopa. The raw fish. Often it's done with it could be done with tuna. It could be done with all different kinds of fish in Korea.
Yeah.
But a very, very popular dish. Especially in the summertime, I think. Mm-hmm. And that's a dish that is huge in Hawaii, but goes by a different name and has a few different ingredients.
Oh, really?
And it's called, it's called, have you ever had poke, or have you ever heard of poke?
Yeah, but the things that I've seen, because there's been a bit of a boom here in Korea for lots of restaurants to put that on the menu. Probably not authentic Hawaiian poke bowls, I'm assuming. And I don't know, that didn't spring to mind that it was similar to that because it felt so exotic just through its name. Maybe I had the wool pulled over my eyes. Interesting. So we can talk about some Hawaiian poke bowls, how to make them maybe later on in the show. I'm loving that.
Welcome to Arirang Radio.
If you are in Jeju,
88.7 in Jeju City,
88.1 in Seogwipo City,
101.9 in the Daejeong area.
Arirang Radio.
We're back for part 2, Dish of the Day, with Chef Ryan in Hawaii showing us the sea from his holiday accommodation. We're very jealous. I'm getting bitter. Wow. And I got a correction from Kevin. Obviously, Hawaii isn't 5 hours ahead of Korea. It's 19 hours behind. It's still Thursday afternoon.
Right. Good correction. That's right.
Apologies.
Yeah. So I got two Tuesdays this week.
Oh, nice.
But I'm gonna have 0 Saturdays next week.
Oh, when you fly back here, you completely miss it. Breakers on board saying, is it me or did Chef Ryan get a haircut? Is that just the Hawaii wind?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe a couple of weeks ago. I think I had this in the last show with you guys. So I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, we've got Breaker not paying attention to Ryan's hair. We're very disappointed, Breaker. I'm just kidding. And Life is Lovely, one of our listeners who's come on board regularly in the past few months, is actually on Oahu and lives there, which is fantastic. I wonder where. I wonder if it's anywhere near, Chef Ryan.
Wow.
You're on the north side of the island, you say, Ryan, right?
Yes. We are on the northeast side of the island,
and that's a big island, right?
You know, we drove kind of the long way around the other day, and there was traffic, but still, it only took about an hour and a half.
Okay.
So yeah. Don't quote me on. I'm not sure of the exact size of the island. I've been too busy just enjoying the scenery and yeah. But yeah, to me, everything's kind of a short drive after living in Texas.
Yes, the scale is rather different. And just for our listeners, who are mostly tuned in because they're interested in Korean culture, Jeju-do Island is not some tiny little island that you can walk across or anything like that. Like if you're driving around it and you get stuck in traffic, it can take you, like an hour and a half to get to certain bits and pieces of it. And it's good to get a rental car there. You got a rental out there as well, Ryan?
A swanky one. Yeah, we're riding in style out here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I saw in the song break, we left the camera feed open for our listeners and they love seeing you prep things. I saw you getting something out of a little container talking about, and I think I read it said Hawaii, the home of poke. What is on your plate and on your chopping board there? Let us know, Ryan.
Yeah, so, poke has, I guess in the last 10 years, has become incredibly popular globally. And through that, it's moved away from its traditional roots.
Okay.
So what I've done today is I've got 2 poke that are more original. Yeah. And then I've got 2 that are more modern. Sweeter, more flavor. So a little bit of history about poke. It was normally, what we've got here is all ahi tuna. And some octopus, another type as well. But traditionally, it was made from smaller fish just caught in the harbor. And poke means cut fish or cut up fish. Nice. So the fishermen, while they were, working and they got hungry, they would just, fillet up some fish, cut it up, and mix in some ingredients that they had around. One of them is this necklace, the kukui beads. They have a nut inside that's also known as a candle nut. Okay. Which it's called candle nut because I guess they have so much oil in them. They used to be used like candles. Wow. You could light it on fire and it would burn for a long time. But toasted, you get this kind of thing right here. And it was so cool at the local supermarket. I went up and asked about this, and a younger local guy, he wasn't so sure about it, but he went and checked and he said, you got to ask the meat department. I'm not sure why the meat department. Yeah. There, and she's like, and I said the Hawaiian name. She said, yes. How much do you need? And I was like, just a small container. And she got it out of the back for us so that we could have the. And
that's like ground up, or is that how small the nuts are? Okay.
Yeah, so apparently, similar to a walnut, there's two lobes in each of these nuts, candle nuts or kukui nuts, and after you toast them and grind them, you get this, and it's pretty bitter on its own, but definitely has a savory component, and some depth to it, and that is a very important ingredient in the traditional poke, along with some seaweed or algae,
Similar to Korean style.
that's what I'm saying. How in Korea we've got so many different spring greens or different kinds of greens and seaweeds, right?
Yeah.
And here I read that there's over 100 different names for varieties of seaweed and algae. So whatever's abundant and diverse, and different names for different uses.
Cool.
So that's an important one. You can see in this more traditional poke, there is a bit of a seaweed.
Okay. So the poke, does it have to have like some kind of base ingredient? Because you're talking about, it being relatively comparable to the mulhe, which you're talking about having that kind of salad as maybe the main base with the kind of cooler soup or liquid. And then the hedopap, like the stodge or the voluminous component is the rice. Does that have to be the base, or is that itself the poke that you've got in the dish without that kind of carbohydrate base?
I think it's often eaten with rice here. I've seen it also served with tortilla chips last night at a hotel restaurant that we went to catch sunset. But yeah, I was hanging out with a friend yesterday or day before who has lived here for 3 years, and she took me over to a spot where locals go and pick up different kinds of poke, more traditional or more modern. Some of them have like mayo and sriracha in there, and others have fruit, mango or pineapple or avocado.
Wow.
And you can get it served with rice or chips.
Just like a kind of salad buffet. Those are kind of ready-made, and then you just choose which type of poke you want. That's interesting, because when I saw like a poke or a poke bowl, I guess the bowl thing should have given me the hint. So the poke is that main bit of it, the fish and the ingredients all together, and then you could have that with rice or in a bowl with a salad or whatever. Now I understand, I think. Okie dokie.
What we've got here is we've got cubed pieces of ahi tuna. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, traditionally it might not have been ahi, but there's so much good tuna around here. And then most of the recipes I read, they talked about Maui onions, and I couldn't find any of those today, but I've also got these beautiful Spanish or red onions. Okay.
Lovely.
And I'm going to get some of that in there. And then definitely some of this candle nut or kukui nut. All right.
That's not easy to find in other parts of the world, perhaps, Ryan?
Yeah, I imagine that one might be tough, because it was even a little. I had to ask special for it at the supermarket here. Then some sea salt, and then we all know this in Korea. This is some laver or kim.
Does that just look like the regular one that we have here before it's been oiled or salted?
Well, this one has been oiled and salted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but and that's maybe not exactly traditional. I wasn't sure. I could go out in the sea and grab some algae or some seaweed, but I'm not an expert on such things here, so I'm not sure if I would grab the right one. But from this basic style, you can go so many different directions. If you look at this plate, this one here, this really shiny one, is pretty sweet. There's definitely a fruit element, like a fruit juice here, but I can see the candle nuts, I can see the onions and some scallions, and there's definitely some toasted sesame oil, which we use all the time in Korea.
Wow, is that a big ingredient in Hawaii as well?
Oil is everywhere here, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And some soy there as well. Similar with the octopus one here, definitely some stronger flavors. But then these other two are much more traditional and less colorful, less Instagrammable or whatnot, but it's very delicious.
And
then the candle nuts stand out more.
And they don't have like a certain seasoning that they need, like the one that you've just made, just with the salt. There doesn't have to be a certain combination, like in many Korean dishes, of soy sauce, chili pepper paste, and blah blah blah.
For the most part, the traditional ones have some pretty basic ingredients. That would be some types of seaweed. There's one called limu.
Yeah.
Which I couldn't find at the supermarket, sorry. But it's a brown algae.
Uh-huh.
And then the candle nuts and some sea salt are kind of, I believe, maybe put in a mortar and pestle and mashed into a paste that's then mixed on the fish.
Wow.
And, it reminds me of a ceviche as well as the Korean dishes. But ceviche is actually cooked. It's cured by the acidity of lime juice or vinegar.
But
that's not. This is raw. This is meant to be enjoyed, made right on the boat. As you're fishing, traditionally anyway. Now some of these you'll find they will have been marinated for 24 hours or something.
Yeah.
And be more flavorful. But.
Everyday's K-pop. Anytime and everywhere. Arirang Radio.
We're back for part 3. Ryan is really teasing us, eating all these delicious foods in our faces. It looks amazing. And some of our listeners as well, me included, that first one that we can see in the foreground here in the video, what fruit is that? Some people guessing the papaya that had the dark seeds in the middle.
That is papaya. And this is so cool. We went to the farm just down the road here, and they had a little farmer's market. I mean, it's a big farm. They had a farmer's market set up today, and we were able to buy this papaya and this dragon fruit and the star fruit as well.
Wow.
Really, really cheap. And after having to buy imported tropical fruit in Korea for so long, my expectations of the sweetness or the ripeness of it were pretty low. But man, it's so nice. It reminds me of living in Brazil.
Wow.
And having tropical fruit on the ready all the time.
That's amazing. The papaya, did I see you eating the seeds?
No, I dumped the seeds out but it's so soft and perfectly ripe. I just ate the whole thing with a spoon out of half of the papaya itself.
Is it not? Because the only time I've bought papaya here in Korea, obviously imported, my wife sliced it, and it might have been you that said this, to do it in like a salad, and it's a bit peppery almost. Is that how that papaya tastes?
No. Green papaya salad is famous from Thailand, and it's actually really spicy when it's green. It's an interesting fruit.
Yeah.
When it's not ripe, it is spicy like a chili. But when it's ripe, it's sweet. So this one's definitely ripe and super sweet. When you get a papaya that's not so good, it's really not good.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I've never searched it out ever again.
Well, yeah, if you get a papaya that's not so good, it's I hate to say it on the show, but it's kind of reminiscent of vomit.
Oh no! I did get
really. Yeah.
No, we got to be honest. So a good one though, would you say it's one of the better fruits out there if you get a good one?
And there's a tree right outside the window here. I could probably show you. They're these cute little like skinny trees. You wouldn't expect that a tree that size could have such big fruit, but they do.
Wow.
And so yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go back to the farm tomorrow and hit the farmer's market again and get some more of these because they're so good.
Do they taste anything like mangoes? That's my favorite.
No, papaya has its own unique unique flavor. It really does. Yeah.
Gotta try.
Yeah.
And the dragon fruit. Right. Can I ask you quickly about that dragon fruit?
Sure. Yeah.
How come it's all kind of dark red like a beetroot? The ones we get here, aren't they white with the black seeds?
Different varieties. Yeah, this is the red or Yeah.
And does it taste good?
purple
Because
or
again,
pink.
when we've bought that, it's very plain, the flavor. Like there's not much going on.
I was telling my mom, I mean, I hate to, I don't want to bad talk the dragon fruit from Jeju, but they just have a shorter season. There's really no winter here, and Jeju does have a winter. I've been there when it was snowing before.
Yes.
And so it's harder for them to get that full sweetness. But I mean, this is awesome to just eat it out of here with a spoon,
and it's really
really like the texture. Oh, absolutely. And it's the texture of kiwi. Just don't get this juice on you because it'll never come out of your clothes.
It does look that way, almost like a beetroot. Man, I'm so jealous. And then the star fruit as well. I don't think I've had that ever. We've never been able to buy that in Korea. That tastes like anything we'd know, or is it its own unique flavor again?
Well, I think I need to wait for these to ripen. I mentioned to the gentleman working at the farmer's market, I said, I've never had one that I really liked, but I was buying them in Texas, and they've traveled a long way.
Yeah.
So I asked him if he could help me pick out a few, and he said these are the best ones in the bunch, but you still might want to set them on the counter for a few days. So I'll have to get back to you on that. They're definitely a little sour.
Okay.
But I'll try to find out more, and we can discuss it next week or the week after.
Fantastic. And so you've been putting some of the papaya, some of the dragon fruit into the poke bowl and mixed it all together?
No, actually not. I just was using the papaya as a bowl, and I've got two different ones made up now, or I'm still working on one. But yeah. So I wanted to mention these avocados here. My friend that I met in Korea, and she's been living in Hawaii now for about 3 years, has these trees in her backyard.
Avocado trees?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Here, let me show you some of the full size ones. These are awesome.
Oh my goodness.
And apparently they are called butter avocados or buttery avocados.
They look very smooth.
And I know, doesn't it look like a Korean or like an eggplant?
Yeah.
I at first I thought they might be eggplant when I first saw them. But wow! Before anybody told me that they were butter avocados, I was eating one and I was like, "This is the most buttery avocado I've ever had in my life."
Really?
It's so rich. It's so rich and thick, almost like the way peanut butter sticks to the roof of your mouth. It's just like, it's amazing. And so I've mixed some of that into this poke, which would definitely be a less traditional style. But I have seen this, and normally the avocado might be in bigger chunks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this can be ordered at a number of like kind of cafes where you can take it to go or eat it there, and get it with rice or with chips or whatever. And here, I'm going to give this one. I put a little soy in this one too.
Oh, brilliant. Because, when you get like styles of sushi or chobap here, I don't think it's traditionally Japanese, but you'll often have avocado somewhere there. And then you dip it in the soy sauce and the wasabi or the kyoja, the kind of mustardy thing. And it's a brilliant combination.
Yeah. This is going back to Mexico too. A year living in Mexico before I moved to Korea, and we'd have avocado with our ceviche quite often. It goes so well. Yeah. And these have got to be the best. I mean, when I lived in Brazil, we had an avocado tree, and they would fall on the ceramic tile roof in the middle of the night and wake everybody up.
Oh, wow!
These huge avocados, but they had these giant pits in them too. These have smaller pits. This is my favorite avocado now. There's small pits where there's so much flesh in these, and we've had them with our breakfast every day here so far, and I think we'll continue to do so. And then we'll have to go back over to my friend Lucy's house and get some more.
Still raid her garden. Unfortunately, Ryan, we're coming to the end of our time here. Life is Lovely, the person who lives on Hawaii, Alec, I believe, says, in a poke, tomatoes, any onions you want, maybe some mai fish with lemon so you can eat it somewhat raw. That is their tip as well. But as we've seen from Ryan today, it seems like you can go really traditional and simple, but there's loads of fusion. It seems quite like free and easy with what you're putting in there.
That's what I'm learning, and And we're supposed to go fishing here on this trip and maybe get a mahi-mahi or a tuna or a marlin. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to make some poke on the boat.
Fantastic, Ryan. Have a great rest of your trip. We'll have you back on air from Korea next week. Have a wonderful time. Good luck with the fishing.
Peter, you have a great week, brother.
See ya. Thank you. You can listen to Dish of the Day with Chef Ryan every Friday at 10 a.m. KST on #DailyK.